Hello, in this video we will go over the basic functions and settings of the O2 Conserver Checker. When you first start the device, if it has the oxygen concentration option, it will go through a 20-second purge of the oxygen sensor, followed by a brief zeroing process. On the left-hand side, we have the most recent readings for trigger pressure, pulse volume, and oxygen concentration. If you switch to continuous flow, the volume will be replaced with the flow value. In the middle of the screen, we have the average values for volume and oxygen concentration. You can change the number of points to average by clicking the average box and then setting that number. The number of points to average can be set from 1 to 20. These values will only update for pulse settings and will not update during continuous flow. Next to the average values, we have the breath rate display. The breath rate can be adjusted by clicking the BPM button. This can be set from 10 to 40 breaths per minute. Our breath rate box has two values: the target breath rate that the device is triggering at on the right side, and on the left side is the actual measured breath rate. If this breath rate is more than 1.5 breaths per minute off from the set breath rate, the text will be displayed in a dark red. On the top right section of the display, we have our serial number for the device, as well as a small area that will indicate if the device is connected to an external device, such as the PC-based monitoring software. When connected, the Bluetooth icon will be visible here. Finally, the gear icon in the corner is where we can access our settings. In the Settings menu, we have a variety of functions that we can access, as well as our basic device settings. At the bottom of this menu, we can see the last time the device was calibrated. The first function available is the flow test. This lets us test the flow calibration of the device with a known volume. This is done by using a syringe with a known volume connected to the inlet port. You can stroke the syringe at various flow rates and verify that the measured volume is within the expected range. The graph will update during the stroke and give you an estimate of the flow rate. At the end of a stroke, it will display the measured volume. The next function we have is the pressure test. This test will turn the fan on at a low speed to generate a slight negative pressure, similar to what is generated during the normal operation. The display will update with the current measured pressure. You can connect a calibrated pressure sensor to the inlet port of the device and verify that it is reading the same value as the sensor on the checker. If we go to the Settings menu, we have three different parameters we can adjust. We have a screen brightness that can be adjusted. This setting will be stored in memory, so when you reset the device, it will always come on at that brightness. Then we have our display mode. This is the mode that we can change if we want to display the average values or if we want to plot the pulse waveform for a device. In plot mode, the average values are replaced by a graph showing the pulse waveform. Our last setting in this menu is the exhale mode. Some devices require a positive exhale signal before they will trigger another pulse. For these, you have to make sure that the exhale is turned on. For some devices, at breath rates above 30 breaths per minute, you may not be able to achieve the desired breath rate due to the length of the exhale pulse, as well as the length of the delivered pulse from the device. For these devices, you can turn the exhale mode off, and this will disable the positive exhale pressure and shorten the time between pulses. Each time you restart the device, it will start in average mode and with the exhale signal enabled. When plot mode is turned on, our graph will size to show the total time of a breath at the current setting. So for 20 breaths per minute, our graph is 3 seconds. Each vertical bar in the graph represents half a second regardless of the breath rate. The factory option does not have anything that the end user will be able to use. This has basic settings that are set at the factory. The O2 Cal button takes you to a menu where you can recalibrate the oxygen sensor using 100% oxygen. Once you go to this menu, you can supply oxygen between 1 and 2 liters per minute to the inlet port. The measured value will be somewhere between 85 to 92%. This is expected. This is just the raw value that we typically see with 100% oxygen. Once that value has stabilized, you can select the OK button and this will set the value as the new oxygen calibration value. If you want to discard the calibration, you can do so by clicking Discard, or you can save it by clicking Save. Finally, we have the sleep time. After the device has gone a certain amount of time without being triggered, it will go into sleep mode. The sleep mode turns off the fan and prevents the screen from being updated. There will be a text on the screen that says it is in sleep mode, and you just need to touch the screen to wake it up. This value can be set anywhere from 1 minute up to 30 minutes. This concludes the basic uses of the O2 Conserver Checker.